Right, I'm going to be accompanying myself on the whistle. Some people have already heard me doing this, and after hearing Maggie's wonderful whistle playing, I feel quite put off by it. But never mind. Um, it's The Drowned Lover. As I was walking down in Stokes Bay, I met a drowned sailor on the beach as he lay, and as I drew nigh him, it put me to a stand, when I knew it was my own true love by the mark on his hand. Oh, why he went sailing from his own dear shore, for to face the great storm winds and the seas that do roar. I said when we parted, and he swore to come again, my heart tells me, my own true love, I shall see you no more. Oh, what now to thee, my love, these breasts I beat, and what joy in this golden hair I tear at thy feet. By thy side on the sand, in thine arms at me lie. I shall hold thy dear hand, my love, once more while I die. To Robin's green churchyard bear us this day. Mark all you pretty fair maids that pass by this way. 'Twas cruel, cruel weather flung a true love on shore. It is only in this hapless grave we are parted no more. Sorry. Thank you. Sorry, the pause button wouldn't work on the repeat.
Oh,
Amazing, no-handed whistle playing. Never seen anything like it. Yeah, great stuff. Okay, in a change from the advertised programme, Racker seems to have left us, so it's going to be Simon Prager next instead, and after Simon, Tamsin Try.
Okay, thanks. I think I've done this before quite a long time ago, and other people have too. So I waited for. It hasn't been done for a few weeks, so I thought it can. I don't need to introduce it. I went down to old Joe's barroom on the corner by the square. They were serving drinks as usual, and the usual crowd was there. On my left stood Big Joe McInnery. His eyes were bloodshot red. He turned to the crowd around him. These are the very words that he said. I went down to St. James Infirmary, see my baby there. She was stretched out on a cold white table, so sweet, so long and so fair. Let her go, let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. She may search this wide world all over, never find another sweet man like me. When I die, please bury me in my high-top Stetson hat. Put a $20 piece on my watch chain, so they will know I died standing pat. I want 6 crap shooters for my pallbearers, a chorus girl to sing me a song. Put a jazz band on my hearse wagon, raise hell as we roll along. Now that you've heard my story, I'll take another shot of booze. And if anyone should ask you, you've heard those St. James Infirmary blues.
Wow.
Well sung. Beautiful.
Bravo.
A little bit of Django Reinhardt in there.
Lovely stuff, Simon. I particularly like that little tremble at the very end, but all very good. Okay, and yet another change to the advertised order. It's not going to be Tamsin next. She is currently indisposed, and so Elizabeth Block, could you take the floor, such as it is, please? And after Elizabeth, Paddy Hannan.
I was reminded of there's a wonderful long piece, mostly spoken by the late great Stevie Goodman, The Dying Cub Fan's Last Request, where he requests a funeral in Wrigley Field, have 6 bullpen pitchers carry my coffin, have six groundskeepers clear my path, have the umpires bark me out at every base in all their holy wrath, and so on. But this is not. This is Flanders and Swann. The fragrant honeysuckle spirals clockwise to the sun, and many other creepers do the same. But some climb anti-clockwise, the bindweed does for one, or convolvulus to give her proper name. Rooted on either side the door, one of each species grew, and raced toward the window ledge above. Each corkscrewed to the lintel in the only way it knew, where they stopped, touched tendrils, smiled, and fell in love. Said the right-handed honeysuckle to the left-handed bindweed, "Oh, let us be married if our parents don't mind. We'd be loving and inseparable, inextricably entwined. We'd live happily ever after," said the honeysuckle to the bindweed. To the honeysuckle's parents it came as a shock. The bindweed, they said, are inferior stock. They're uncultivated, of breeding bereft. We twine to the right, and they twine to the left. Said the anti-clockwise bindweed to the clockwise honeysuckle, "We'd better start saving many a mickle, max a muckle. Then we'll run away for a honeymoon and hope that our luck'll take a turn for the better," said the bindweed to the honeysuckle. A bee who was passing remarked to them then, "I've said it before and I'll say it again. Consider your offshoots, if offshoots there be. They'll never receive any blessing from me. Poor little sucker, how will it learn when it is climbing which way to turn? Left, right, what a disgrace, or it may go straight up and fall flat on its face," said the right-hand thread honeysuckle to the left-hand thread bindweed. "It seems that against us all fates have combined. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Columbine, you are lost and gone forever. We shall never intertwine." Together they found them the very next day. They had pulled up their roots and just shriveled away, deprived of that freedom for which we must fight, to twine to the left or to twine to the right.
Good stuff, Elizabeth. I like the rhymes in that, especially the Many a Mickle Max a Muckle, which obviously should be in all good songs. Okay, Paddy Hannan next, and then Jim Lucas. Can't hear you, Paddy. Unmute, unmute.
Got it. Flanders and Swann can hardly be bettered. But this is a song from the northwest of England, the Lake Districts vaguely. It's called Lish Young Buy-a-Broom. Buy-a-Broom is a gypsy. Lish means beautiful, desirable in the dialect of that area. And it has a chorus, but join in, please. As I was a-travelling in the north country, down by Kirby Stephen I happened for to be. As I was a-walking up and down the street, a pretty little buy-a-broom I chanced for to meet. For she was right, I was tight, everybody has their way. It was a lish young buy-a-broom that led me astray. kindly invited me to go along her way. Yes, was the answer to her that I did say. There was me with the music walking down the street, and her with the tambourine was beating hand and feet. But she was right, I was tight, everybody has their way. It was the Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. The straight way for Kendal, we steer at her and I. Over yon white mountain, the weather it was dry. We had a bottle filled up to the top, and whenever we were feeling dry, we took a little drop. But she was right, I was tight, everybody has their way. It was the Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. One night coming on good lodgings we did find, eatables of all sorts and plenty of good wine. Good bed and blankets just for us two, and a roller in the arms, me boys, and wouldn't you do too? But she was right, I was tight, everybody has their way. It was the Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. Well, early in the morning we rose to go away. I called on the landlord to see what was to pay. 14 and 6pence just for you two, and a fiver on the table. Oh, me darling, then she threw, for she was right, I was tight, everybody has their way. It was the Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. For the reason that we parted, I now will let you hear. She started out for Germany right early the next year, and me not being willing to cross the raging sea. Here's a health unto me Buy-a-Broom, wherever she may be. She was right, I was tight, everybody has their way. It was a Lish young Buy-a-Broom that led me astray. Lish young Buy-a-Broom.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Beautifully done. Thank you.
Collected by a guy called Jeff Woods, who I knew.
Well, I think Reggie said it all there, so thanks for that, Paddy. Jim is next, and after Jim, could we have Kathy Dent? Are you going to unmute? Yes.
Had trouble finding the unmute button. Okay. My computer seems to be making a funny noise. I'm hoping you can't hear it, but even if you can, I'm hoping to drown it out. And let's see if my fingers will cooperate with me. Hope my brain cooperates. Last week. There it is. Last week down the alley came a toff. Nice old geezer with a nasty cough. Sees my missus with a topper on. Oh, I'm trying to think about it, and it doesn't make sense, but his topper is his hat. Yes, okay. Try again. Last week down the alley came the toff. Nice old geezer with a nasty cough. Sees my missus, takes his topper off in a very gentlemanly way. Mom says I have some news to tell. Your rich Uncle Tom of Camberwell popped off recent, which it ain't a sell, leaving you his little donkey shay. Watch all the neighbors cry, who you gonna meet, Bill? Have you bought the street bill? Laugh, I thought I should have died and knocked them in the old Kent Road. And some says nasty things about the moke. One cove thinks his leg is nearly broke. Well, that's there, and because we're carriage folk, like the horses rides in Rotten Road. Lloyd shook the alley up a bit. I thought our lodger would have had a fit when my missus, who's a real wit, says I ate a bus because it's low. Watch out, the neighbors cried, who you gonna meet, Bill? Have you bought the street, Bill? Laugh, I thought I should have died, knocked them in the old Kent Road. When we starts, the blessed donkey stops. He won't go, so out I quickly lops. Cows start bashing him, and down he drops. Someone says he wasn't made to go. But I soon showed him that he'd have to do just whatever he was wanted to. Still I shan't forget that rowdy crew, all are in row steady, Neddy, whoa. Watcher, oh, the neighbors cried, who you gonna meet, Bill? Have you bought the street, Bill? Laugh, I thought I should have died, knocked them in the old Kent Road. Every evening at the stroke of 5, me and Mrs. takes a little drive. You'd say, wonderful, they're still alive, if you saw that little donkey go. And Lord, my, you'd think it was a four-in hand. My old Dutch knows how to do the grand. First she bows and then she waves her hand, calling out, we're going for a blow. Watcher, oh, the neighbors cried, who you gonna meet, Bill? Have you bought the street, Bill? Laugh, I thought I should have died, knocked them in the old Kent Road. Watcher, oh, the neighbors cried, who you gonna meet, Bill? Have you bought the street, Bill? Street, Bill, laugh, I thought I should have died, knocked them in the old Kent Road. Well, a little bit of fumbling fingers, but
one of the most famous Cockney songs, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jim. Good to hear you again. We haven't seen you for a while, so good to have you back with us. Okay, Kathy Dent now, followed by Tom Reid.
Unmute wouldn't work. No chorus to this one, but you'll all know it, so do join in. Needs no introduction. Oh, of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town, who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips She alone has my heart in thrall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, a man may drink and not be drunk. A man may fight and not be slain. A man may court a pretty girl and perhaps be welcomed back again. But since it has so ought to be, by a time to rise and a time to fall, come fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, of all the comrades that e'er I had, they are sorry at my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I loved, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise while you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Farewell to Gerry.
Beautiful. Well done, Kathy.
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. It's a great farewell song. Okay, moving on now to Tom Reid, followed by Dave Clare.
Thanks, Amanda. That was beautiful, Kathy. Fond memories of Gerry. Okay, a little rant on the subject of religion. There's a cold wind blowing through my memories tonight. I'm drowning in the darkness and I'm praying for the light. All those voices keep on calling from a far off place and time. Lord, it feels like I'm losing my mind. Oh, but maybe I was crazy and maybe I was blind if I thought that I could leave it all behind. Oh, but how can we be sure who's the fool and who's the wise if we can't tell the truth from the lies? All those prophets and those preachers from their pulpits preach the word, handed down throughout the ages in the book of the absurd. From the Garden of Eden to a rebel on a cross, from the trenches to the bloody Holocaust. Oh, but maybe I was crazy and maybe I was blind if I thought that I could leave it all behind. Oh, but how can we be sure who's the fool and who's the wise if we can't tell the truth from the lies? With your rifle on your shoulder, you go marching off to war, down the road to Armageddon, where so many marched before. All your sins will be forgiven, all your crimes be justified, when you know that you have God upon your side. Oh, but maybe I was crazy, and maybe I was blind, if I thought that I could leave it all behind. Oh, but how can we be sure Who's the fool and who's the wise? If we can't tell the truth from the lies. Oh, my brothers and my sisters, take heed of your plight. From the cradle to the graveyard, they will tell you black is white. But the tide is slowly turning, and they're running out of time. There's a better world a-coming down the line. But they'll tell you that you're crazy, and they'll tell you that you're blind, if you think that you can leave it all behind. Oh, but how can we be sure who's the fool and who's the wise, if we can't tell the truth from the lies? Oh, but how can we be sure who's the fool and who's the wise, if we can't tell the truth from the lies?
Wow, song for our times. A song for our times.
Great song.
Excellent song. Excellent, Tom.
Great song for our times, Tom. Thank you. Lots of lies out there to be countered. Okay, Dave Clare is next, then Marty Stock. I just want to say everyone who has put their hand up so far will get on this evening. It's just possible that we'll have room for a few second songs from a few lucky people. So if you want to if you're interested in singing again, then put your hand up, and I will spin the Sharps tombola between those who are interested in singing, and we'll see what happens. So over now to Dave Clare.
There's a lot of talk about Gerry tonight, and quite rightly. He's an institution. Yet another one. We were at Mac's funeral on Friday, and then on Saturday, Gerry buggers off. Fortunately, we had a gathering, a sort of a smaller than usual gathering of Brickfolk, which is run by Kathy and her husband Jeff. And it's monthly, and it's chorus songs only. So apologies to Kathy and Livy, who was there, but I'd like to sing again one from one of Gerry's favourite ones. And I promise you, it was brilliant having everybody belting out the chorus to this. Gerry would have absolutely loved it. How blithe each morn was I to see my lass come o'er the hill. She tripped the burn and she ran to me. I met her with goodwill. Oh, the broom, the bonny, bonny broom, the broom of the Cowdenknowes. Fain would I be in my own country, heard in her feathers yowes. We neither herded ewes nor lamb, while the flock it near us lay. She gathered in the sheep at night, and cheered me all the day. Oh, the broom, the bonny, bonny broom, the broom of the Cowdenknowes. Fain would I be in my own country, heard in her father's yowes. Well, she would oblige me every hour, could I but faithful be. She stole my heart, could I refuse whate'er she asked of me? Oh, the broom, the bonny, bonny broom, the broom of the Cowdenknowes. Fain would I be in my country, heard in her feathers yowes. Had fain that I should bandits be, gone way o'er hill and moor, because I love the fairest lass that ever yet was born. So farewell, ye Cowdenknowes, farewell. Farewell, all pleasures there, to wander by her side again is all I crave or can. Oh, the broom, the bonny, bonny broom, the broom o' the Cowdenknowes. Fain would I be in my country, heard in her fairest yowes. Oh, the bonny, bonny broom. Cheers, Gerry.
Oh, yeah. Superb, David.
Lovely stuff, David, and yeah, you did him proud there. So yeah. Okay, over now to Marty Stock, followed by Helen Engelhardt.
I'd like to sing a song by Dougie MacLean called Garden Valley. I think he intended it as a lament that he couldn't be at home while he was on tour, but the meaning is expanded, as you'll hear. This is really not my home, and where are you, my lovely Jenny? I'm afraid and all alone, there's no peace for me. I'm sitting in a stranger's room, playing at the stranger's table, shining empty like the moon, there's no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about the garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the Tay, distant and so far away, there's no peace for me. I'm blinded by your city lights, wandering through these fearful places. The colors fade to black and white, there's no peace for me. And these are not the friends I know, these are not their smiling faces, a desert that no one should know, there's no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about the garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the Tay, distant and so far away, there's no peace for me. And now I know and feel it well, of emigrants deep sunken feeling, standing at the gates of hell, there's no peace for me. Burned out by their master's greed, cruel exile, transportation, robbed of every love and need, there's no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about the garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the Tay, distant and so far away, there's no peace for me. But in the darkness, struggle cold, I think about the garden valley, gentle as the leaves unfold, singing out along the Tay, distant and so far away, there's no peace for me.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Beautifully sung.
Another stunner.
Thank you.
Oh, good morning. Marty.
Well done, Marty. Dougie MacLean's a great songwriter as well. Okay, we're now on to Helen Engelhardt, and after Helen, something from Chris Lamb.
So, can you hear me?
We can.
That's good. I'm going to sing another song by Jean Ritchie's repertoire. That's where I learned it from, when she first came to New York and would sing on Oscar Brand's radio show and became a lifelong friend of his. Come, all you fair and tender ladies, take warning how you court young men. They're like the stars of summer's morning. They first appear and then they're gone. Oh, if I had known before I courted, I never would have courted none. I'd have locked my heart in a box of golden and fastened it up with a silver key. I wish I were some little swallow, and I had wings and I could fly. I'd fly away to my false true lover, and when he'd speak, I would deny. But I am not some little swallow. I have no wings, neither can I fly. So I'll sit down here and weep in sorrow and try to pass my troubles by. Come, all you fair and tender ladies, take warning how you court young men. They're like the stars of summer's morning. They first appear and then they're gone.
thank you, Helen, an old favourite. Lovely. Okay, Chris Lamb now, followed by David Jones. It would be good to hear you, Chris. Singing doesn't really work without it.
Do you know, you're right, Amanda. It does sound better when I'm. You can hear me. One of the songwriters that has been suggested as someone we might celebrate is John Conolly, and this is probably his best-known song, which I've sung at various other places, but never at Sharps. So I'll sing it now. As I walked by the dockside one evening so fair, to view the salt waters and take in the salt air, I heard an old fisherman singing a song. Oh, take me away, boys, me time is not long. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday in Fiddlers Green. Now Fiddlers Green is a place I've heard tell, where fishermen go if they don't go to hell, where the weather is fine and the dolphins do play, and the cold coast of Greenland is far, far away. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday in Fiddlers Green, where the skies are all clear and there's never a gale, and the fish jump on board with one swish of their tail. Where you lie at your leisure, there's no work to do, and the skipper's below making tea for the crew. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday in Fiddlers Green. When you land on the dock and the long trip is through, there's pubs and there's clubs and there's lassies there too, where the girls are all pretty and the beer it is free, and there's bottles of rum hanging from every tree. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday in Fiddlers Green. Now I don't want a harp, nor a halo, not me. Just give me a breeze on a good rolling sea. I'll play me old squeeze box as we sail along, with the wind in the rigging to sing me a song. Wrap me up in me oilskins and jumper. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip, mates, and I'll see you someday in Fiddlers Green. Fiddlers Green.
Excellent.
Yeah, well sung. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's been a good night for choruses, just such a shame we can't hear them, but thanks, Chris. Okay, David Jones, good to have you with us again. We haven't seen you for a while, so welcome back. Looking forward to hearing you sing. And after David, could we have Stacy Roth? Don't forget to unmute.
Unmuted, yes. And I once taught Gerry, I remember him singing a song and I said, I like that song, Gerry. So he sent it to me. It was about going off to another war. Anyway, this is a little short song just occurred to my tiny brain that Ritchie used to close with a lot, and fitting for Mac and for Gerry. Brothers, now our meeting is over. Brothers, we must part. And if I never see you in this world anymore, I'll love you in my heart till we land on shore, till we land on shore, till we land on shore and find peace forevermore. Oh, sisters, now our meeting is over. Sisters, we must part. And if I never see you in this world anymore, I'll love you in my heart till we land on shore, till we land on shore, till we land on shore and find peace forevermore. Oh, people, now our meeting is over. People, we must part. And if I never see you in this world anymore, I'll love you in my heart till we land on shore, till we land on shore, till we land on shore and find peace forevermore.
Beautiful, David.
Very nice. Very.
Another great parting song. Thanks, David. And Stacy, I'm afraid someone has to follow that, and it is you. So it's going to be Stacy and then John Johnson.
All right, I'm going to take off my headphones because it's like singing with cotton in my ears. David, that was lovely, and it's so good to see you. And I'm so sorry at the passing of your friend Gerry, and my heart goes out to everyone who knew him personally. You know, Tim Radford mentioned that we just celebrated our holiday of Memorial Day here in the United States. And locally, we have lots and lots of parades and ceremonies. And of course, I participated in 2 local parades yesterday. And these parades, especially on Memorial Day, always remind me of a song that I learned from my grandmother. And so I'm going to sing it for you now. My grandmother called herself a balladeer, and she loved to do songs that had recitations in them as well, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and this one does. So here we go. It's called My Dream of the Big Parade. It was written in 1926 and harks back to the First World War. Last night I was dreaming of days that are gone, of days that you might recall. And just like a photoplay up on my wall, I thought I saw it all. It was just a dream, you see, but how real it seemed to be. I saw buddies too, marching 2 by 2 in my dream of the big parade. I saw angels fair with the Red Cross there in my dream of the big parade. I saw Gold Star mothers, sisters and brothers, what a sacrifice they made. I saw one-legged pals coming home to their gals in my dream of the big parade. Millions of soldiers, millions of men, all going over, I see them again. Oceans of water, submarines too, millions of sailors helping them through. Millions of doughboys landing in Brest, marching, marching, never a rest. Millions of bullets thundering past, and millions of bodies wounded and gassed. Valleys of ruin, mountains of mud, beautiful rivers and rivers of blood. Airplanes flying, bombs coming down, millions of cooties crawling around. Pieces of shrapnel, pieces of shell, many a cross where somebody fell. Fighting and fighting a horrible war, and God only knows what you're fighting it for. Then came November, that Armistice Day. Out of a trench, into a cafe, Paddy, Abby, Jimmy, and Jack opened their bottles of wine and cognac, telling their love tales to Jean and Georgette, little French girls they had to forget. Then came the journey over the foam, but all that went over didn't come home. I saw Chateau Thierry all filled with Marines. I strolled by the river Seine. I saw all the villages mid fields of green in old Alsace-Lorraine. And the memory lingers yet. There are scenes I can't forget. I saw buddies too, marching 2 by 2 in my dream of the big parade. I saw angels fair with the Red Cross there in my dream of the big parade. I saw Gold Star mothers, sisters and brothers, what a sacrifice they made. I saw one-legged pals coming home to their gals in my dream of the big parade. My dream of the big parade.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Terrific.
Thank you. That was also recorded by the Canadian singer Henry Burr and the Peerless Quartet shortly after it was written. And it was written by Al Dubin, words by Al Dubin, music by Jimmy McHugh.
Thanks, Stacy. Great combination of song and words. Okay, our next singer is John Johnson, and we will then have been through everyone who is still with us and has put their hand up in the first round. So we'll be on to a second round of singers, and after John, we will therefore go to Paddy Hannan.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you very much. And commiserations on the passing of your good friend, Gerry. And all I'll offer is an old Gaelic blessing, Labas, Laban of Lahas. So, Gerry, the bed of heaven to Gerry. The song I'd like to sing is written by a John Todd Hunter in the 19th century, and it's set in a little village on the Cork-Kerry borders, and the name of the village is Ahado. So it's based in the era of the 1798 rebellion. So there's a glen in Ahado, Ahado, Ahado. There's a deep and secret glen in Ahado, where we met, my love and I, love's fair planet in the sky, in that deep and silent glen in Ahado. There's a glade in Ahado, Ahado, Ahado. There's a deep and secret glade in Ahado, where I hid him from the eyes of the redcoats and their spies, that here the trouble came to Ahado. But they tracked me to that glen in Ahado, Ahado, when the price was on his head in Ahado. O'er the mountains, through the woods, as I stole to him with food, but a bullet found his heart in Ahado. I walked to Mallow Town from Ahado, Ahado. I took his head from the jail gates to Ahado. There I covered him with fern, and I piled on him a kern. Like an Irish king he sleeps in Ahado. Oh, like an Irish king he sleeps in Ahado.
Well sung, well sung, well sung.
Thanks, Amanda.
Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, great to hear you again. So Paddy Hannan is our next singer, and then I think we will have, we'll have time for, I think, a couple more. So it'll be Paddy followed by McElfred.
Thank you. The River Tyne runs through Newcastle, and at one time vied with the Clyde for the biggest shipbuilding river in the world. But this is a love song about, I've transposed the genders. I cannot get to my love if I would deed, for the waters of Tyne run between her and me, and here I must stand with a tear in my eye, with sighing and sickly my sweetheart to see. Oh, where is is a boatman, oh my bonny hinny? Where is a boatman? Bring him to me, to ferry me over the Tyne to my hinny, and I will remember the boatman thee. Oh, bring me a boatman, I'll give all my money, and you for your troubles rewarded shall be, to ferry me over the Tyne to my honey, or scull him across the rough river to me. I cannot get to my love if I would thee, for the waters of Tyne run between her and me, and here I mun stand with a tear in my eye, though sighing and sickly my sweetheart to see. Waters of Tyne.
Lovely stuff, Paddy. Thank you. Short and sweet. Okay, over now to Mick. And actually, I've just told David Kidman in the chat that he's not going to get on, but he might just get on depending on the length of Mick's song. Don't edit yourself though, Mick. So if it will either be Mick followed by Martin Neil to finish, or Mick then David Kidman then Martin Neil. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, I'll do a tune. runs a lad and lass, and they're busy packing at the cuckoo's nest. The cuckoo's nest, oh the cuckoo's nest, the cuckoo's nest. Give me one a shilling and a bottle of the best that could ruffle up the feathers in the cuckoo's nest. The cuckoo's nest, oh the cuckoo's nest, the cuckoo's nest. Give me one a shilling and a bottle of the best that could ruffle up the feathers in the cuckoo's nest. Oh, there we go, the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah, it's a Morris tune. I'm sure I've heard a Morris tune.
And I saw some Morris dancing going on without hankies, but yes, quite effective, Paddy. Thank you, and yeah, thanks, Mick. Great tune. Okay, decision time. All right, let's since David is so good with our indexing of the songs, I think he deserves another song himself this evening. So we will have David Kidman and then Martin Nail to finish the evening. Over to you, David.
Thanks, Amanda. I've got one or two songs missing from the list so far, so whatever. This is a very short song by Roly Sally. Leaves were falling just like embers, in colours red and gold, they set us on fire, burning just like moonbeams in our eyes. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud. I was killing the blues. Now I am guilty of something that I hope you never do, 'cause nothing is sadder than losing yourself in love. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud. I was killing the blues. When you've asked me just to leave you and set out on my own to find what I needed, you asked me to find what I already had. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud. I was killing the blues. Yes, somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud. I was killing the blues. Yes, I was killing the blues. Killing the blues. Killing the blues.
Not one I've heard before, David, I don't think. So thanks for adding that to the index. And yeah, a word of thanks, obviously, to both to you for the indexing and to Livy for this evening's muting, and to everyone for being here. And I think we shall just pass over to Martin now to finish the evening off for us. Over to you, Martin.
Yes, another music hall song, which was one of Gerry's favourites. Oh. Today I've been busy removing, and I'm all of a fidgety fidge. Me last digs was on the embankment, the third seat from Waterloo Bridge. But the cooking and all the attendance didn't happen to suit me so well, so I ordered me man to pack up and look out for another hotel. Well, he did, and the new place is extra, I vow. Just wait till I tell you where I'm living now. I live in Trafalgar Square with 4 lions to guard me, fountains and statues all over the place, and the Metropole staring me right in the face. Well, I own it's a trifle drafty, but I looks at it this way, you see. If it's good enough for Nelson, it's quite good enough for me. Well, the beds ain't as soft as they might be, still the temperature's never too high, and it's nice to see swells what are passing look on you with envious eye. And when you wake up in the morning, just think how nice it must be to have a good walk for your breakfast, and the same for your dinner and tea. But there's many a swell up in Park Lane tonight who'd be only too glad to have my appetite. I live in Trafalgar Square with 4 lions to guard me, fountains and statues all over the place, and the Metropole staring me right in the face. Well, I own it's a trifle drafty, but I looks at it this way, you see. If it's good enough for Nelson, it's quite good enough for me. When I think of those unlucky bounders, the Morgans, the Clarence, the Clares, what has to put up at the Cecil, well, my tenderest sympathy's theirs. And to show I'm not selfish or greedy, I just tell each aristocrat that I don't mind exchanging apartments. Now I can't say no fairer than that. But those soft-headed sillies don't hear what I say, so they go on suffering while I'm all okay. I live in Trafalgar Square with 4 lions to guard me, fountains and statues all over the place, and the Metropole staring me right in the face. Well, I own it's a trifle drafty, but it looks at it this way, you see. If it's good enough for Nelson, it's quite good enough for me. If it's good enough for Nelson, it's quite good enough for me.
Oh, bravo.
Good song. Excellent.
Great way to end the evening, Martin.
Very good.